Okay, let's dive into this user experience thing, or UX, as you probably know it. You interact with it dozens of times a day, probably without even thinking about it. So today, we're going to change that. We're going to give you the essential tools to start seeing the world just like a UX designer.
And look, this isn't just some random stuff we made up. This entire explainer is built on the fantastic, super practical, and honestly, hilarious crash course from Joel Marsh's book, UX for Beginners. It's a guide that has seriously helped a ton of people finally make sense of this whole field.
Now, Joel kicks things off with this really powerful idea that kind of reframes the entire job. Think about that for a second. It means our job isn't to invent some magical experience from scratch. It's already there, in every app, every website, even the doorknob on your front door. The real work, the hard work, is making it better.
So with that in mind, let's jump into our first section. We are going to bust a pretty common myth about what good UX actually is.
Right, so a lot of people think good UX is just about making users happy, but that's not the whole story. I mean, if that were the only goal, designers could just fill every app with CAD videos and call it a day, right? The real goal of a UX designer is to make users effective, to help them get done what they came to do smoothly and without pulling their hair out.
And here's the crucial point. When most people hear user experience, they think of, a user's random, subjective feeling, whether they like it or not. But what we're really talking about here is the professional discipline of user experience design. It's a whole scientific process of research, testing, and tweaking to solve real problems for real people.
This pyramid here just illustrates it perfectly. We all tend to focus on the visible stuff at the top. The pretty colors, the cool fonts. But the most impactful work, the stuff that really makes or breaks a product, happens way down at the bottom. It's that deep, invisible foundation, understanding users' psychology and having a solid structure for everything. If you get that wrong, no amount of beautiful design is going to save you.
So, how do you start thinking like a user? It's actually pretty simple. Use this framework. For any screen you look at, just ask these 3 questions. First, what is this? What am I even looking at? Second, what's in it for me? Why should I care? What value do I get? And third, and this is a big one, what do I do next? Where do I click? If a design can't answer all 3 of those, instantly, it's failing.
Okay, let's move to our next section and see how this all comes together. We figured out what UX is, so now let's look at the core components that actually make it work.
Think of UX design like a recipe with 5 main ingredients. You absolutely need psychology to get inside the user's head. You need usability to make it easy to use. Great design to guide their eyes, clear copywriting so they know what's going on, and finally, analysis to learn from data and make things better. A great UX designer knows how to blend all of them. But for this crash course, we're going to focus on the one that's the foundation for everything else, psychology.
Which brings us right here for a deep dive into the user's mind. You gotta understand, psychology is the engine that drives all user behavior. Understanding it isn't optional, it's everything.
Okay, so the most overused word in UX is probably empathy, but it's more than just a buzzword. It's about literally setting aside everything you know and what you want to actually feel the user's problem like it's your own. When you truly get it, the solution becomes obvious because you're solving it for yourself.
Now, where does this psychology stuff play out in the real world? Well, just think about social media. Its crazy success is no accident. It is meticulously built on a deep understanding of 2 fundamental core human motivations.
First up, there's affiliation, that deep primal need we all have to belong to a group, to be part of a tribe. And second, you've got status, that drive to compete, to climb the social ladder, to be the best. Seriously, whether it's joining a fan group or just collecting likes and followers, almost everything you do online taps into one of these 2 powerful drives.
And understanding this is what separates a simple idea from a true UX solution. See, an idea can be personal, it can be artistic, it can be meaningful only to you. But a UX solution, it's totally different. Its entire value comes from solving a specific, understood problem for someone else.
And just to put a finer point on it, that tattoo of your beloved hamster, Chewy, that is a beautiful personal idea. It means the world to you. But it is not a UX solution, because it doesn't solve a problem for anybody else. And that distinction is crucial.
This leads us perfectly into our final section. I mean, if UX is all about solving problems for other people, how do we actually know if we've succeeded? Well, the answer lies in a tough, evidence-based process.
This is what makes UX so unique and so powerful. Unlike art, which is totally subjective, UX design can be objectively wrong. That is a huge deal, because if users can't figure out how to complete a task, if they get confused, if they just give up and leave, your design has failed. And the best part? We can test it, we can measure it, and we can prove it.
Which brings us to a huge trap that so many teams fall into. Too many projects are driven by what the boss thinks looks cool or what everyone in the meeting agrees on. But let me be clear. Internal consensus is not a UX strategy. Your team's opinions mean nothing if they don't match up with your user's reality.
I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good fart button? It might be the biggest hit in the office. But that tells you absolutely nothing about whether it solves a real user need or helps them achieve a goal. Your office is not the world.
So here it is, the most important mindset shift. When you do user research, you are not testing the users. They are testing your design. If they fail, your design failed. It is a humbling but incredibly powerful way to think. Your job is to just be quiet, listen, watch what they do, and use that information to find better solutions.
So I'm going to leave you with this. The next time you're using an app and you feel that, familiar spike of frustration, just take a second. Instead of just getting angry, ask yourself, what fundamental user problem is the designer on the other end completely failing to see and failing to solve? Trust me, you'll never look at a button the same way again.